Alright, so in order to get into it, we have to go on the background on the immune system. So the function of the immune system is to protect the body from diseases. So first we have the innate immune system, which is our first line of defense. It includes the skin and mucus.
Yeah, that's good that you have that figure at the bottom, although it's hard to see.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to see.
Yeah.
Which includes mucus and earwax. We also have the adaptive immunity, which is the anti-specific response, and this occurs when the antigen is found inside your body. It's the body adapts, the immune system adapts, and it learns about it. And the cells which are involved in there are helper B cells, and they'll secrete antibodies and cytotoxic T cells, which kill infected cells. And then, like in our little diagram, it's pretty hard to see. We have cells of the innate immune system and adaptive immunity, and here we have macrophage, and on this one we have helper B cells and cytotoxic T cells.
So what is HIV? HIV stands for human immunodeficiency virus. And when you have HIV, it's unlike other infections, you actually have it for life. So HIV mostly attacks your CD4 T cells, which help the immune system fight off infections by killing infected cells. So once your CD4 cells have become highly infected by HIV, it destroys so many of these cells that you need. You can become vulnerable to what are called opportunistic infections, which take advantage of your immune system once it's very weak. And these opportunistic infections wouldn't normally affect a person who has a normal CD4 count. So how HIV works is there is binding and fusion. So in binding and fusion, you have a process by which it binds to a specific CD4 receptor. And this is similar to like when you have a lock and key, sort of like with enzymes. Once it binds to it, it's going to fuse with the host cell, and it will release its genetic material into the cell.
By the way, this is a good infographic. Make sure people understand what's happening. Okay.
So also we have the second step is reverse transcription, which is an enzyme called reverse transcriptase, and it changes the genetic material of the virus so it can be integrated into the host DNA. So after that we have integration, which is when the virus's new genetic material enters the nucleus of the cell and uses integrase to integrate itself into the genetic material, where it may hide and possibly stay inactive for years. Then we have transcription, which is when the host becomes activated, the virus uses its own enzymes to create more of the genetic material to produce longer proteins. Then we have assembly, which is when it uses enzymes called protease to cut into the longer HIV proteins to individualize the proteins. When these come together with the virus's genetic material, the new virus has been assembled. And lastly, is the last part of the process is budding. So this is the final stage where the virus pushes itself out of the host cell, and they take a part of the membrane of the cell. And now this outer part covers the virus, contains all the structures needed to bind to a new CD4 cell, and you start the process over again.
Okay guys, so our next question is, what is AIDS? So AIDS stands for Acquired Immunodeficiency Syndrome. And AIDS is not separate from HIV, rather it is the last stage of it. So similar to HIV, once you have AIDS, you're stuck with it. So AIDS is specifically diagnosed when the CD4 cell count passes below the point of 200 cells per milliliter of blood. Yes. Yeah, so without treatment, the people that are diagnosed with AIDS typically can't live any more than 3 years. However, as you know, treatment has been improving over the past few years. Okay, so the effects of AIDS on the immune system, as I mentioned earlier, is that you suffer a severe drop in CD4 cells. The typical amount are between 500 and 1,600 cells per millimeter cubed. And when have AIDS, it falls to or below 200 cells. And apart from that, as Brianna said previously, you are more vulnerable to infection because you have a lower count of these cells.
Just to make it clear, HIV and AIDS are not the same thing because HIV is the virus itself, while AIDS is the last stage of the HIV virus, so it's more severe. You can be diagnosed with AIDS if your CD4 count is this low, or if you develop 2 or more opportunistic infections.
Alright, so now we're going to talk about the symptoms of HIV and AIDS. First is rapid weight loss. Next one is recurring fever. Then there's extreme and unexplained tiredness, so being tired all the time. And also prolonged swelling of the lymph nodes in your neck, armpits, or your groin area. Also chronic diarrhea, so diarrhea that lasts for more than a week. And sores of the mouth, anus, or genitals. And here's like a picture of the sores. And that's like one of the most common ways to catch AIDS. But also, pneumonia, red, brown, pink, or purplish, like blotches on the skin or under the skin, and also memory loss, depression, or any neurological disorder. And the thing is that for HIV, the symptoms are pretty difficult to find. Sometimes you don't display symptoms until like way later that you have the disease, and that doesn't help you combat it.
So how HIV is spread? It isn't an easy disease to spread. It can only be transferred through your blood, semen, pre-seminal fluid, rectal fluid, vaginal fluid, or breast milk. So if a mother does have AIDS, she can give her child AIDS as well. And there has been cases where pregnant women who have AIDS and have children, their child develops AIDS when they come out of the womb. So AIDS, however, is not spread. Like a common myth is that if you kiss a person, you have AIDS, but AIDS is not transferred through saliva unless the person has sores or bleeding gums in their mouth.
Okay, so before explaining the medicine and treatment, it's important to remember that no one really dies of AIDS. You die because your body's not able to fend off another disease. That being said, AIDS is able to be treated, and one of the ways is called ART. It stands for antiretroviral drugs. And what this does is basically the way that AIDS infects a cell is that it releases its RNA strands as well as 3 major enzymes which help it do reverse transcriptase. And what ART does is that it blocks the use of some of those enzymes so that the RNA is not able to go through reverse transcriptase. Another thing that you can do if you are not infected with HIV or AIDS, but you are at high risk of it, is you can take pre-exposure prophylaxis. And what this does is basically think of these strands as RNA strands. So the way reverse transcriptase would happen is these two bind to form one single DNA strand. But what PrEP does is it kind of blocks it so that it's not able to go through reverse transcriptase. And another thing that is not on here, but it's also really important, is that a very small percentage of the human population is naturally immune to HIV. And when cells from their bone marrow are transplanted in someone who is HIV positive, it is possible for them to be cured. The problem with this is that it's very specific to one case. In other words, if you don't have a friend who is immune, you can't be cured. But it does give scientists hope to create HIV-resistant cells. Okay, guys. So now can I have Caesar name 3 symptoms of AIDS?
Rapid weight loss, chronic diarrhea, and recurring fever.
Great.
Okay, content. So this is a little bit better, but you need more detail. Okay, the keyword would be the immunology of HIV and AIDS.
really, what are the effects of HIV on the immune system?
So you're more vulnerable to infection.